How does a mistress manipulate a wife? In this video, we will talk about how a mistress who aims to take the husband away from the family can destroy the entire family by controlling the wife like a puppet. There are mistresses who do not claim the man and do not want to take him away from his family, meaning they are satisfied with the current situation. There are mistresses who truly, sincerely love a man and are willing to accept him even as a de facto wife, hoping and believing that at some point he will come to this decision on his own, but they will not manipulate him in any way. Then there are the real predators, women who take everything into their own hands and are ready to destroy a family. Again, this video will talk about those wives who are willing to forgive their husband's infidelity but will not succumb to the mistress's manipulations. So, the first manipulation. Manipulation based on love and loyalty. What does the mistress aim to achieve with this manipulation? What does she do? When the man comes to her and at some point she starts talking about how much she loves him, how she is faithful to him, how she misses him terribly when he is not around, and how he betrays her every time he sleeps with his wife. The mistress may shed a tear which is necessary for her at that moment. She knows that the man is a good family man, that his family has existed for many years, and what does she need to do? She needs to distance the man from his wife. And at that moment, the lover, the man, seeing the tears of his chosen one, feeling, and she tells him how she admires him, how she loves him, how painful it is for her to share him with his wife, how she waits for every minute and second until they meet, how she can't wait for his arrival, how she can't wait for his call. And at that moment, the man boosts his self-esteem, meaning he realizes how much she loves him. And at that moment, he decides to be faithful to his mistress. In other words, at that moment, he is not ready to leave. He starts sleeping separately, for example, on the couch, leaving the marital bedroom, and stops showing any signs of affection to his wife. At that moment, the wife begins to feel something. She realizes that something is not right, and the wife, of course, already suspects that her husband has someone else. And if the wife decides to keep the family together, this moment should be important. Here, no matter how painful it is, the wife needs to keep herself together. But the wife, usually under the influence of this manipulation, feeling the coldness and rejection from her man, begins to throw tantrums and cause scandals. And what is happening in the man's mind? It is good there, it is warm there, it is cozy there, they love him there, they miss him there. At home, the situation is the opposite. At home, it is cold, there are fights, and I don't want to go back. And so, on this contrast, the mistress continues to act further. And what does she resort to? The mistress really wants the wife to find out. That is, if the wife hasn't figured it out yet. The mistress will start to make her presence known in her chosen one's home in every possible way. What can she do? For example, when the man is asleep, she can spray her perfume on his jacket or leave a lipstick mark on his shirt. In every way, she indicates that she exists and can, for example, not even spray perfume or leave traces of lipstick so that the man does not realize he is being manipulated. She might call him, send messages, or share interesting photos, knowing full well that his wife is at home. The mistress knows a lot about the family. The man tells her when his wife is home, for instance, that she might be working from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m., handling her own affairs and then going to bed. The mistress is aware of the wife's routine. At that moment, she starts quietly calling, pretending to miss him, and begins sending messages. The wife asks what is going on with you, and the man, of course, starts to get nervous. And from these reactions, the woman suspects that something is wrong. The wife suspects that her man has someone else. Furthermore, the mistress needs to unsettle the wife through social networks. And what does she do? The mistress always knows what her rival looks like. Perhaps she has seen her from a distance, or maybe she has monitored social networks. She has already found her. And here, under one of the wife's photos, she writes a message, sending something on social networks to make the wife visit that woman's page. And upon visiting the page, she sees many photos of this woman and her husband. She reads stories about the strong love between the mistress and her husband. She sees the photos and the world of this woman collapses. In other words, she reads and sees what the mistress wanted to present to her. And at that moment, the ground slips away from under the wife's feet. What does the wife do? At that moment, the wife might even kick the man out of the house. That is, she understands that everything he loves there, giving expensive gifts, courting beautifully, she has already promised who knows what, and there are already future plans that the mistress has happily detailed on social networks. And the woman experiences a tragedy. She has strong emotions. The wife is upset. She is angry. And again, this is manipulation to make the wife start causing scandals, quarrels, and tantrums. At this moment, the man may no longer be able to endure it himself and go to where he feels good. And let's move on to the last manipulation, which, if the man has not left by this point, is guaranteed to work. The mistress makes it so that the wife arranges a meeting or makes a call, essentially forcing her to call. The wife is in a state of distress. She wants to understand why this happened. She wants to get her man back and is not ready to let go. And she, even if she is not the one to arrange it, but the mistress writes or calls somewhere to suggest a meeting, is actually ready for it in 90% of cases. And she will agree to this meeting. Why does the mistress do this? After this meeting, the man will most likely leave the family because the mistress will twist the entire situation to suit her own needs. In other words, the wife goes to this meeting and a whirlwind of emotions is boiling inside her. She understands what she is losing, and just one word, one action could lead to the wife being portrayed in a certain light. Then your man will learn everything from the lips of the mistress herself. She will tell that perhaps you started a fight, that she was insulted and called names, and the wife is such a scoundrel, a very bad person, while the mistress is so poor and unhappy. Here the mistress is crying, pleading not to punish the wife too harshly, not to confront her too much. After all, the mistress supposedly feels sorry for the wife, and at that moment, rage is born in the man. The man reacts very strongly to all these complaints and tears of the mistress. At this moment, he is ready to. If she decides to meet the mistress, this will not lead to a pleasant dialogue. This is obvious. Everything said will be used against the wife. This situation will strengthen the bond between the mistress and your husband, and he is very likely to leave the family. And yes, in his eyes, the mistress will be an angel, while you, of course, as the wife, will be the complete opposite. At that moment, the man may very well pack his things and leave. What should a wife do in this situation? If you have started to notice some patterns and understand that the mistress is trying to make her presence known, if you understand that the mistress is trying to call and write to make you see and know of her existence, but you do not want to lose your man, here lies your immense strength. That is, usually a woman, a wife, succumbs to all these manipulations and the man leaves the family. But if she does not give in, understanding what is happening, if the mistress resorts to such methods, that is, to take the man away from the family, it means that he did not want to do this on his own before. So, by resorting to manipulation, she wants to do this. The most important thing for the wife here is to show her composure. When a man shows this cooling off, do not react to it. Try to continue as if nothing has happened. Care for him and show love. Yes, it's difficult. Yes, almost impossible, some wives will say, because in such a situation, it's very hard to suppress your emotions, but here, he will either leave or stay with you. Do not succumb to manipulation when she tries to assert herself. If you see that she starts messaging you on social media, do not disturb your soul. Do not try to read what the mistress wants you to read. In other words, she provides you with this information so that you see it and hear it from her. It's just like with a meeting that may take place. The mistress will present the man in the way she wants him to be presented. The same goes for social media. The mistress will present it in a way that she wants the wife to see it. That is, she will show her what the wife is supposed to feel: pain, betrayal, and disappointment. So here, skill and composure are needed. Try to endure the whole situation without succumbing to manipulation. And under no circumstances, of course, should you meet, because such a meeting is a direct path to the destruction of your relationship. By enduring all these situations and resisting manipulation, the mistress will eventually realize that she lacks the strength to fight for this man and may step back. In this way, you can preserve your family. That's all for this video. This was me, Alice Vardomska. I hope for your likes and subscriptions. Write in the comments what you would like to discuss in my new videos. Don't forget to hit the bell, and goodbye everyone.